And on this game, I found success by being elusive. I'm really trying to be elusive. I actually decide to pull back my grunts there. Are my grunts here? Yes, pull back my grunts here. Look at that. Hiding my grunts. Because I really don't want to be seen he opponent's perspective. Last time he was facing the Firelord. This is the, by the way, this is the trollest False Wolf before we go into my opponent. Look at this. Look at this False Wolf. Look how far he chases me just to get that salve off. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. Welcome to another Nick Oldhead Warcraft 3 video. And we have a fun one for you today, right? We're going to be talking a little bit about Orc versus Human. You know it's one of my favorite matchups. Why? Because I get to go some fun builds, right? I get to go Firelord first. I get to do some of my experimental backpack things. And a lot of the strategies in this video are going to be against that, right? We have a lot of human opponents. My first human opponent here is Ichigo, right? Shoutouts to Bleach, right? Yeah, Bleach is the anime. I've just broke 1500 MMR, so let's go, right? Congratulations. Those of you who've been watching the channel know that we were about 1200 MMR when the channel started, but now we have clawed, climbed, cut, stolen, bartered, and bullied our way into 1,500 MMR, which is funny because that's where you start, right? So when you start the game and you play W3 Champions for the first time, you're started at that 1,500 MMR. But then you quickly drop down. If you lose one match, you drop down like 150 MMR, right? That's just the baseline. So it's interesting, now that my account is so seasoned, but I'm still in the 1,500 MMR, you sometimes go up against really skilled opponents, and then you go up against complete noobs because they just started and they're unranked. So it is a fun rank to be. And you see here, well, why is it fun? Because the grunt here is trying to stop the Paladin Rifle opponent. So good militia spread means I'm not able to get the item still here, but it's not that big of a deal. It's just a cloak of shadows. But the grunt here is just overall distraction, right? The grunt of all of the tier 1 units, its biggest strength is HP. So I actually don't mind if I take a few whacks on the grunt, right? And just look at what it's done to my opponent right here, right? All of this slowdown. Consider this harass, right? Am I... oh, I was trying to get the last hit on there. See? Am I actively, like, making a game plan around this grunt? Winning? No. But I'm trying to slow down because I need to get the Firelord, right? You see? And now that my Firelord is here, and this grunt has a healing salve and the clarity... You've seen this before, but now we get to talk about it. This is what I like to do versus Paladin Rifle opponents. This grunt's now just healing. He's done his job. And now I'm here. So most of the time, that should go back to work. Please, peon. Most of the time, if you're Farseer, you have a Farseer right here, and you're trying to do this song and dance. But the thing that's tough for Farseer is that I don't think Farseer is as good of an auto attacker, so you can't just do this. And also, like, the wolves would have gotten, like, farmed by now. Like, I probably would have gotten some wolves killed. And I just kind of like this idea of pressuring the human opponent before they have long rifles. I mean, look, my grunt can literally just run away. Now, this is an interesting decision here. It's the paladin for the grunt, right? No, so eventually the paladin has to run away. And now this grunt, yeah, you better TP before you get the body black. So look at really what happened, right? My opponent, you know, definitely slowed down a bit. Still at full mana, so in terms of the paladin, you're not too worried. But by the way, could have just used Cloak of Shadows that whole time. When you were right here, Cloak of Shadows would have been really good. I would have lost my grunt. So a little bit of, miss micro there. Got my healing salve canceled. Hate to see it. My opponent paused right there. This is actually this weird... this weird AI behavior of the Hydra. The Hydra really likes to hit all of your units with poison, you see? So it's sometimes dangerous to move back in low HP units, because you see how it got hit again just like that? Gotta be careful for this Hydra. So what am I doing now? I'm trying to go for my damage items, right? I always like these two camps on this map because they give you some pretty decent items for quick. You know, my Paladin Rifle opponent, you know, only was able to creep this and that. Still some low HP, no TP. And I'd say, like, you should be building an Arcane Vault at this point, right? Like, you've seen, like, you just need to heal. So, an Arcane Vault's missing by my opponent. But look, this is what I mean. Look at this. Almost what? Creep micro can be tough. I don't know why the turtle killed him there. I think it's because I sent an attack of that grunt back. But I digress. You know, we lost a grunt, unfortunate. But why do we do this build, ladies and gentlemen? Because of this, I suppose, early game spike, right? Like 5 minutes in, We have full salves and clarities. If we need any more stuff, we can get more healing things. And can you imagine if I actually creep jacked him there? So, no. I do get this rifleman, though. I see the rifleman, and we do some body blocks. Body blocking is important when you're using grunts. It's not like sometimes you play mass grunts, and if you're lazy at all, like, you don't do those little tiny moves, and you miss out on a lot of DPS. But yeah, Paladin level 3. You were creeping very, very aggressively, faster than me because I'm rifles. But look at the state of the game, though. Oh, this is an interesting micro decision. I have this grunt here to try to block, but uh-oh, he can actually kill it. So what do? You actually have to keep running up with the block. So I'm still blocking, but I'm also running at the same time. So interesting micro here. We're just trying to get some damage. And what does this grunt actually do? Y'all know it, right? Yeah, Naga, right? So this strategy aims to beat the Paladin Rifle player right now. You know, we're not trying to make this go late. I don't even want to face the Blood Mage. Nice block there by my opponent. Ichigo knew he needed to block the Naga or else the Paladin's dying. And now we have grunts getting maybe Berserker Strength would be a good upgrade right now. It would be the ideal time to get Berserker Strength. Yep, there you go. Nice. So we don't have enough food for a grunt, so just get Berserker Strength. It's good timing. Those grunts are going to, in the middle of combat, get a little boost. And do we have a attack upgrade? No. But here we have it. I often like this situation when I'm playing Paladin Rifle. I just put my 2 ranged heroes in a whole other control group, and I put the grunts in one control group. So I got my melee and I got my range. So now that we've killed the Paladin, what are we going to do? Well, we're just going to creep, right? We're going to creep the entire map. And I think my opponent saw that, right? Ichigo left the game because at that point, you know, you're already behind. I'm pretty sure he was about to build the Blood Mage, but to get the Paladin killed right there, I essentially beat him to the punch. He wanted to push me with level 3 Pally and a Blood Mage, but I said no. So, hey, look at that. Another fun game, but what? Guess what happens, guys? Would you believe what happens? Yes, we face the same player. I love it when this happens because part of Warcraft 3 is, yes, it's a game about mechanics, but it's also a game of strategy. So we face the same opponent, Ichigo. So what do? Well, we change it up, right? We change it up. We're not going to go Firelord first again because, well, my opponent has just scouted that, and I'm not going to, like, just give my opponent free info. So instead, we go Blademaster into Voodoo Lounge. Now, I really like Blademaster when you know your opponent's going to do Paladin Rifles, right? When you know for certain, then you can go Windwalk Blademaster and really punish, I don't know, some of these slower builds. Like, let's see how this works out. Oh, I hate this, by the way. Gold Destruction. I hate when I do this. That peon should be sent there, get the gold, and then lumber. But look at this. Gold Destruction. Bye-bye, gold. Oh, horrible. That's fine, though. So we're moving our Blademaster. Trying to get that circlet. Sometimes I creep that, but I decided not to. My Paladin Rifle opponent. I'm glad my opponent went here instead of here, because as you see, I decide to creep. The moment I see the blacksmith and I don't see my Paladin opponent here, I just suss that my opponent is here somewhere, or maybe creeping. So yeah, let's get a little ninja quick. You can see here from my opponent's perspective, he doesn't even see it until the last minute, sees it, and now I creep. So look at my opponent's perspective. Last time he was facing the Firelord. This is the, by the way, this is the trollest Frost Wolf. Before we go into my opponent, look at this. Look at this Frost Wolf. Look how far he chases me just to get that salve off. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. So Ichigo here, you know, he sees the wolf coming back, and that's like, okay, the Blademaster's gone. I'm gonna creep, but this is why we go Windwalk Blademaster. Ho! My creep, right? Yeah, sorry about that. And at this point, we go out of vision, Windwalk. The out of vision Windwalk is important. It's a little tiny micro thing, but just going out of vision and then Windwalking makes it harder. So yeah, so we're stopping the Paladin Rifle from creeping, and now look, we got the Gloves of Haste and the Circlet. We're feeling great. And if you were the Paladin Rifle opponent, you saw the Firelord the first game, and now you see this Blademaster with salves and stuff. So you're thinking, oh, fast tech. That's what I'm going to do. Fast attack, voodoo launcher. So let's just attack him straight up. But no, my build is never a fast attack versus Paladin. You need units versus Paladin. This is actually a late barracks into headhunter build. And now, yeah, I was creeping. So I was creeping the same as him. I wanted to put the fear into him that I was still stalking with Blademaster, and then go, you know, just creep instead and get an advantage. But my Paladin opponent decides to take the fight to me, and there's only one target, the Paladin. Guys, you're never going to want to hit these riflemen ever. That's just the way I play it at this early stage, because every time you hit a rifleman, you're really just hitting that mana bar, right? And that mana bar is useless to me. Glad that didn't get canceled. How allows me to get the mana. You already see how this game's gonna go. So I see this. Can I hit him with 2 more spears, 3 more spears? Oh, the volley. So yeah, you know, a little bit of strategy win there, right? If we would have went maybe for the identical strategy, I think my opponent would have had different opportunities to maybe adjust. But no, we changed the strategy completely, and we were even a little sneaky. We looked like we were attacking without units, but no, we had units. So let's keep going, right? More human opponents. This is, for all intents and purposes, this game is labeled odd start. So it looks as if I've had an odd start in this game. Let's see how things go. A streamer, just a small Warcraft 3 streamer, I'm not sure if you guys have heard of him, Grubby. He was an old Warcraft 3 player, just a, you know, indie kind of dark creator, independent creator. Maybe if you guys can help him rise. But I was once watching this unknown streamer, Grubby, and he said that sometimes watching a replay where things don't go well, that's the best way to learn, like, how to improve the strategy, because you realize, well, wow, I mean, things were going horrible. I had no idea how to win, and there was no chance to win, and yet we somehow did. Like, so imagine if you just spot the mistakes and don't do them. Wow, that strategy is even stronger. Something like that. So let's see if we can do that here, right? We have a Farseer going for human. We're not doing any Firelord shenanigans here, and I'm going to be real. The Firelord shenanigans on this map, I'm just not sure if it's viable. I sometimes feel as if you can get stranded on these 2 creeps trying to creep, and they're just slightly too big, and sometimes that Paladin Rifle opponent will see you do it. But now we're doing a different style here. Most people, if you see on the pro level, would try to be harassing immediately here, and I don't know, guys, I think the potential downside of feeding wolves is just too bad. The potential downside of giving this Paladin Rifle opponent free 25 experience, and if you play every human opponent, that's what they want. Every human opponent is constantly just focusing your wolves. So I just sometimes find it better to creep like they're creeps, because you're still denying them experience, but you're doing so in a way that's safer, indirectly, getting an item. So we took his creeps, but now we are trying to play a little standard here, because we're trying to attack multiple units. Uh-oh, you see? We let him get a wolf here. I hate that. So he gets a wolf, 25 experience, another 20 experience. So my fear of playing Farseer has come true. We just decided to spend mana and give him experience. But we are attempting the correct meta play, as in let's split up the threats, right? Now, most Farseers go headhunters, but you know me, I'm a more grunt fan. Headhunters are good, but I just sometimes don't have the macro to keep them all alive, and when they all die, you lose quickly. But, you know, we having some split attacks here. You know, you see the wolves really trying not to have the wolves die. This is how you play Farseer, right? You want your wolves to be living. Unfortunately, the wolf gets blocked by the grunt there. So do you see how this is already different than when we're playing Firelord, right? If I was playing Firelord, like, yeah, the Paladin's mana would be full, because I'd be only focusing the Paladin here, but I also wouldn't be giving all this experience. Now, I just need to be microing better with wolves, but I'm not. And many orc players at my level can relate with this. We see the pros play Farseer, but it's like, man, it seems not as easy. But we do get a nice round here. Does that grunt die? So we're feeding a lot of experience, but we are still being aggressive. Eventually, the Paladin Rifle opponent breaks. As in, once the mana's gone, I've been persistent. Yeah, we are going to get some kills. Nice. We're level 2 as well. So, you know, it's not all the worse when you lose wolves. I mean, if you're killing rifles, that's a fine trade, right? And this is exactly the situation we see. My opponent is in a rock and a hard place. And now I know why this is called odd start. It's a little bit of an odd start, right? Like, who is... I think at this point I've killed enough rifles to feel good. Do we get a TP here? Okay, so we definitely get a... Don't die, Grunt! Okay, so the Grunt lives. Do we kill the Paladin? At this point, it's a send everything on the Paladin mission, right? I know deep in my heart, I'm even thinking if the Paladin dies, I don't mind if these Grunt dies. Yeah, right, I know. So that Grunt shouldn't have died, but whatever, the Paladin's dead. And it feels less bad to have these Grunts die, but let's just be real. All my Grunts are dead, right? So this is a weird start, and I now have just a Farseer and a full health Grunt. Now, what am I going to do? Yeah, let's get these kills. We have the TP here, so we decide we're actually okay going in the base, because we want to get that rifle. By the way, Miss Micro just trying to click this, literally just trying to click this the whole time. I don't do it, and I have to TP. So that militia could have just got one shot by a perfect 31 damage, but nope, we live. But look at my Paladin Rifle opponent with the MK, Paladin. It's a combo in light of the nerfs. You see back at home, oh, this is a fun build. Back at home, I was going my Witch Doctor into Torrent Totem. Gold is a little low because of the number of Grunts we have. So part of what I've noticed, you know, the most popular orc builds seem to be going Headhunters, and they can afford some of the tech buildings because they don't spend so much gold. But whenever I go mass Grunts like this, you know, I have the advantage of my strong early game, which I like. When I like to climb, I prefer a strong early game, but I sometimes think I make too many Grunts. Like, come on, get the surround. Surround's important. I really need to get this kill here. I think the Paladin saves it. Just a little bit of better micro and I would have got the kill, but it's fine, right? Like, we're having the Paladin use mana and we're creeping. Oh no, don't die, Grunt. So unfortunately, we let a Grunt get killed there because of missed micro. Odd start indeed. So this is one of those games where, let's go back on my exact focus here, right? Let's think. I just lost a Grunt. I may be overwhelmed, but I figured now's a good fight because I have Spirit Link. Spirit Link, I think, is really good against the Mountain King because the Mountain King is just trying to Stormbolt things, and it feels bad. Now, you see, look, the Paladin Rifle still focusing the Wolves. So we just know this. Human opponents, it's the correct way to play against Farseer, I guess. Just kill the Wolves constantly. As a result, though, your Farseer needs to really be elusive with the Wolves. I'm letting my Grunts get focus fired like that. Like, when you're playing with melee units, it's not necessarily good to have all of them run away at the same time. When, like, if one gets targeted, the one melee unit should run away. So my opponent's been, like, kiting me pretty well here, but I know I have an advantage. Like, I know that, like, my opponent just has not the mana, not the fighting army, so I'm deciding to creep right in his face here. This stasis trap ends up helping me out a lot. I'm trying to get this creep here, but nope. Paladin Rifle opponent. I soul burn the Paladin, and I just focus fire on him. Could have soul burned the Mountain King to save the Doctor, but look, this stasis ward really helps me out. So I actually kind of planned around it, as in let's get a kill via the stasis ward surround, and thankfully it worked out. So at this point, we love fighting, right? No Devotion Aura, we saved the Spirit Walker, we were able to get some. Now we really need to get some kills here. Come on, look at all these kills. At least two, right? Come on, 2 heroes kill that one. Okay, at least one. That's decent. Look at this creeping. Okay, by the way, this creeping's a mess. I like how the Farseer is deciding to just harass here, good. And then the Firelord's creeping, but I think I do lose some units here. This is a little bit, let's see how I'm trying to macro this. Oh, God, Grunt, save Grunt. Save the Grunt. Good. Alright, Grunt still dies. Farseer, though, trying to get some damage. I mean, not bad, you know. I'm really... Look at all the experience my Wolves are feeding. Uh-oh. I don't want to get killed there. That's how you lose this game. So definitely an odd start. Decided to get the Zeppelin. Oh my god, this game is insane. Now I remember this game, the Zeppelin. Let's see it from my opponent's perspective. You're creeping. Getting that Knoll Overseer. Maybe you're what? You're just looking at things. You get Lion Horn. What? And how annoying is this? I can't believe I was able to steal that Lion Horn. Just, I soul burn the Mountain King so I don't get Stormbolted, but like, just so stupid. Lucky. And in theory, like, most of the time that doesn't work. I just get storm bolted, and then the rifles kill my Zeppelin, and I like GG. But so all of that odd starting and odd fighting, we have managed to tech up to Torrens, and at this point, I love Torrens versus Paladin Rifle. The newly buffed Torrens just do something to my soul. And we also have Master Healing Ward, so I think we've successfully stalled the game to the point where, yeah, Paladin Rifle opponent got lucky with the Book of the Dead, but nah, we don't even have Disenchant. We don't really need it. Just doing damage. Look at that. Ooh, damage. One more Torn coming in. Don't have any mana on the Witch Doctor for Healing Totem, but surprisingly not needed, right? Looking back on hindsight, like, we both lost a lot of units this game. I could have done better if I didn't, like, have so many Feral Spirits just get fed. But ultimately, our decision to just fight seemed to work out. Yeah, GG's. Yeah, I would have liked to have maybe some more Witch Doctors before I got Master Training. It sucked to not even have Master Training in that last fight, but GG's, nice there. So we got more Firelord games. Love to see it. Firelord. See, because Firelord is just one of those heroes that I think the more you play him, the more you understand the limits to the hero. Like, there are things that only the Firelord can do. Only the Firelord, I think, can bully a Demon Hunter into leaving the game at, like, 4 minutes, right? But at the same time, sometimes a Firelord can, like, go a Lava Spawn, immediately spend, like, 300 mana by spending 2 Lava Spawns, and then have those Lava Spawns immediately get farmed and not split, and it's like, wow, I've wasted my hero. Like, that's probably what started me experimenting with Soulburn first, because the guaranteed value you get from Soulburn first is so different than the kind of like hit or miss value you get from Lava Spawn. So here we have another one of our patented backpack builds. We have our grunt going on, and let's see what happens, right? Backpack is researched, and we have a second grunt coming. This second grunt is going to eventually shop at the Voodoo Lounge, but right now he has to go pick up the Firelord. We do see my grunt here. Oh, and we get netted. This is so annoying, right? So this net is the bane of the backpack grunt, right? There's got to be some way to figure out how to not get netted. Maybe you move command. Maybe you don't attack command. Who knows? Maybe I have to, like, click on the creep or something, but you always get netted, and I could have stole a Claws of Attack, which would have been awesome. But oh well. Didn't happen. So what do we do this game? Yes, we start with Lava Spawn. So we get to see a little bit of difference. We've been talking about Lava Spawn, but you realize I don't like to get it versus Paladin. So Lava Spawn you get versus the Archmage, because, you know, the Archmage has Water Elemental. It's going to be creeping a lot faster than you, and you need something to try to match that speed. So the Archmage is creeping really fast, but I'm also trying to creep really fast, but I'm creeping for these attack items, right? I'm trying to get items that make me, like, the strongest I can during this early stage push that I know I'm going to be doing because I'm playing Firelord and Grunts. So we get Ring of Protection, Gloves of Haste, great. We get the Lava Spawns, and this is also, guys, why I've been enjoying Lava Spawns on this. Look at this. You can just creep so fast here. We use all of the spawns here. We do some micro to really make sure the spawns take all the damage they can. And yeah, we're just pushing it to the absolute limit. Right now, the Firelord should be taking the damage, but nice. We are able to steal the Wand of Mana Stealing. And let's just finish creeping it, right? Finish creeping it with the Lava Spawns. Nice. And it's his side of the map as well. So we have taken every contested creep here. And if you look at it from my opponent's perspective, my opponent is blind. My opponent sees none of this. My opponent has no idea what hero I am. He saw the grunt, but at this point, feeling pretty good because they're tanking. They're like, I'm creeping my stuff. But yeah, I got this Wand of Mana Stealing. I'm still being pretty elusive. Do I decide to creep the shop? Job's done. No, I creep your expansion. So I have crept the Goblin Shop, the expansion, these two. My opponents have crept that and this. What else did my opponent creep? Not much, right? These two? Yeah, this one too. So my opponent goes for my base, realizes there's not much to do there. Doesn't have level 3. That's interesting. Doesn't have level 3. Do you think my opponent should have just killed burrows there? No, because he probably... Yep, he's scouting. Where are they? My opponent was very confident I was there. Maybe thinks I should kill the Voodoo Lounge? No. So at this point, my opponent is just kind of wasting time while I'm creeping. Yay. So this game... It's very different than when you're facing the Paladin Rifle, right? When you're facing Paladin Rifle, it feels like what you need to do is be as aggressive as possible. And on this game, I found success by being elusive. I'm really trying to be elusive. I actually decided to pull back my grunts there. Are my grunts here? Yes, pull back my grunts here. Look at that. Hiding my grunts because I really don't want to be seen here, and I know they're all healing. I believe I get a Circlet of Nobility there. Maybe, yeah, just to get max out. And here it is, why we love this build, right? My opponent really played into the build by just walking around the map, not doing much. But now we get our Firelord Naga push. Level 2 lava spawns feels really bad. I mean, we have a wand of mana stealing, so I can steal that and make another one. This lava spawn, soloing the rifle. I mean, 45 damage is just insane. Like, actually, it's so much random, so much RNG, but the upside is insane. You just randomly hit for 45 damage. Get that wand of mana stealing. Do we do it again? Wand of mana stealing? These grunts are doing nice. My grunt is creeping there. Naga decides to run away, so yeah. My human opponent just getting a little out microed here. And at this point, your base is just under catastrophe. These grunts are just not accounted for. No shop, no everything. My heroes have lived. That's why this game is over. Nice. So just a little unconventional warfare type thing. Like to see it. But we got 2 more, guys. We got 2 more games. 2 more games of this strat. Alright, so we begin with another human game. This time, my human opponent probably going Mountain King. Yeah, Mountain King. So Mountain King versus Farseer. I'm not sure if I would have preferred a Firelord into Mountain King or not. We get an early Footman Scout, so I already know it's not the Paladin Rifle player. And I don't think you should be taking this much damage on the Footman, right? That's a little much. Send 1 wolf to chase it. But it did buy him time to creep. Not sure if this is worth it to have the wolf chase him. I suppose it is. Still scouting. I decide to get your Murloc Flesh Eater. Yeah, so that was nice to keep the Footman on the go. Now that I have 2 fresh wolves back, Cloak of Shadows is pretty decent versus the Mountain King. So Mountain King gets that militia creep, and now I'm in your base. And we're killing peasants. Good. 1 peasant should die. Come on, wolf. No, we don't kill a single peasant there. My human opponent. And now I see the Mountain King for the first time. Uh-oh. So I see the Mountain King. I hide, right? Hide? Yeah, there you go. You hide. Good. So Cloak of Shadow saves me there. Very important Cloak of Shadow usage. And I'm now able to uncloak and start fighting again. Because I do have that. 21 to 27 damage. It's a big part of the Orc DPS at this stage of the game. Oh no, Grunt! Lost a wolf there. My opponent has some pretty low Footman and Mountain King. And no Arcane. So decent situation. And if you kind of camp here, maybe you can stop the Arcane. But I don't even know. Ooh, get that hide. Very important hide here. Yep. And then I need to run. Run. Whew. Need to run. Wait a minute. Have I casted this game before? Looks familiar. We're under attack. I think I may have casted this game before, guys. Whoa! Nice. Nope, looks like that. Just a little quick MK push. So this is just, I suppose, the risk of early expansion. You know, if you eventually get out microed in this situation, like, Arcane towers are good, but they're not guard towers. Let's just all have that reminder. Arcane towers are good. They help you defend, but Arcane towers do not suppress. If these were guard towers, I probably don't get to finish here because these 2 grunts are dead, and you have the peasants running, farming back. But yeah, GG's there. That game looked oddly familiar, so much to the point that I thought I had already covered it, but I don't think so. Now, alright, I can't just show me winning all the time, right? I can't just show all the games I win, because that's not nearly the reality. And I actually want to show a game I'm very disappointed in. Here it is. This was a game that's so winnable. It's so winnable, and we're going to talk about this game because it's against human too. So we all just saw me crush puny humans with Firelord and Blademaster and Farseer. But now, this is where things go wrong, and we're going to talk about why it goes wrong. So I believe I go Blademaster this game, and I like Blademaster versus human, you know, inspired by that small indie streamer Grubby. I think it's an old school style of play, and it can really get out of control if you get the right items. But let's see what goes wrong here for me. So we have Paladin Rifles, and I immediately creep. Immediately creep with Windwalk. And I don't hate my decision here, right? You get the item creep, and I decide to have my grunt finish it off. So this is a kind of cool hybrid style of harass here. It really allows this grunt to be tough. It allows this grunt to take all the damage he needs. I know my grunt can take on 2 turtles. So look how strong I am. If that was a glove, if this was a boots of agility, man, this feels so good. If this was boots of agility, just go into the base. Looking back on this, I really wished I just started killing peasants. I think that's what I do. Nice. Okay. So this is a good start. I already like what's happening. Don't believe taking this damage is worth it. I mean, looking back, he has the Ring of Protection. I think that slowed me down too much. Exactly what he wanted. I didn't get any Windwalk damage off of that Clarity. I now have no salves, and I have to wait around. And he is low health, but I could have just been doing more damage to his footmen. I mean, to his peasants, which we're definitely going to kill that peasant there good. So, harass is doing fine. I like that I'm level 2. This is good. I'm really slowing him down. This is great. It feels like this game should be won. But this is where it goes wrong, guys. I was feeling too gung-ho, too happy playing Blademaster that I just let these grunts. I don't have a TP. What am I doing? I can't just let grunts be this, like, vulnerable. And I should have at least denied that grunt. So all of this advantage really goes away when you lose a grunt. TP, which is nice. You know, this has potential to end the game right here, you know, if things go well. But my opponent rightfully summons militia, and at this point, I lose every grunt. Not good. Not good. And I lose another grunt. So at this point, my human opponent has outplayed me, right? I've lost my units. They have their units. And you saw potential in this push with the strong blade, the mantle. And I'm still trying to push it because what if I get the kill? Nice. I like how I waste your time there, waste your money. Bring in the grunts here too to help the blade. Oh, but he gets the healing potion. That's fine. I think I just need to send it. No, get full surround. So you see here, my opponent's, I'll call this small army micro. My opponent's small army micro is just beating me here. Though that was a nice move that I did here to just kind of get him to force to fight a creep that's too strong for him. And then I can come back in. Yeah, this is decent, but imagine if I didn't lose my blade. So we soul burn the paladin just because. Would have been nice to get damage. Oh, almost. Almost. Tome of agility. Not bad. Okay, it got denied. Firelord, this game's bad. Ay. So we lose another grunt. So I often talk about this strategy as literally the less grunts you lose, the more you win. We already know why I don't win this game, huh? All those grunts lost. I'm probably going to get that chop off, yeah. I have the mana potion here, so why don't I just keep hitting the blade? I mean, keep hitting... Oh, I'm just literally hitting every salve. That's cute by me. But I think I could have killed... No, he just got the healing potion. Use the mana potion and I'm back. This is hilarious. Look at this. I'll just refuse. Now he uses the healing potion. Pushing it to the limit. But I'm not creeping during this whole time. I'm not doing anything effective during this whole time. If I just had simply not lost those units during all of this harass, my Firelord's creeping, my grunts, I have like 7 grunts now, right? My human is not level almost 4, so yeah. Completely outgunned here. Trying to creep up the best I can. At this point, I'm outgunned. And you know why this game especially stung? Because, like, sometimes you play against opponents where you're like, okay, it's pretty decent micro, but not unbeatable, right? Not unbeatable. Certainly a game that I can win. But now with this little grunts, with this hero, nah. Even my nice Blademaster can't do it. Well, Blademaster's strong, he could. The militia here. This actually really annoys me because, like, yeah, look at this. Almost dead. Just a little bit more micro. A little more crits. This goes a little different. If I'm a little more focused, we don't lose there. But we get BM'd with that. Come on. Is this really necessary? You see, what a close game, but just GG. You see, some days it not is your way, right? Some days the games go like this. Watching this still gets me annoyed. Still gets me upset. But this Paladin Rifle opponent, we saw why they won, because I lost way too many grunts, way too much aggression. So there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And you know what? Hey, I want to give a shout out to everyone watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. You know, I'm definitely having so much fun trying to just rank up, trying to, you know, improve myself as a player. But last season, yeah. So last season I barely played any games. But I'm already up 300 games. I've played a lot more. So if you've been enjoying the grind and if you want to play yourself, I highly recommend it. It's a super fun game. And I think it's a lot more engaging to try to make up your own strategies and improve as a player rather than, like, you know, force myself to play like players way better than me. Because, like, they're better than me for a reason. They're learning from the good players. That can never be denied. So anyways, I digress. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you for the next one. Bye.